all your livestock needs. We stock feeds for all kinds of animals and hay too. We also have seed for a wide variety of forages for your animals. So come on by 4000 Taylorsville Highway, Statesville, or call us at 704-873-5758. We're worth the drive. Thank you again for supporting small family-owned businesses. God bless.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
All systems are a go.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats. Taking Care of Iredell with North Carolina State Representative Jeff McNeely is about to begin. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Iredell County. Good to be back here in the radio station. Good to be back on the airwaves talking to my people. I had a little siesta, I guess you'll say, last week, 32nd anniversary. We always go somewhere, even though early voting started, I still had to do it. But hey, we're going to jump right into the show. I've got my guest, and it's a great, important guest on the line. And let's see if we can bring in the Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, Mark Robinson. Mark, are you there?
I'm here. How are you doing?
Brother, I am good. I hope you are doing well. I do. Where are you at today? I'm sure somewhere in the state working hard.
I'm right here in Shelby.
Okay. Good deal. Good
Yes,
deal. Well, you know, Mark, I kind of became famous just sitting with you here a while back, according to the liberals in the world, and we won't really get into any of that, but we're gonna start here and talk a lot about the important things, not the frivolous that they keep bringing up about you, but the important stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing in the hurricane relief after Helene came through and just destroyed North Carolina, the mountains.
Well, you know, we went up when the storm hit. We tried to contact the governor's office to see if there was going to be any cooperation from them and us, and, you know, kind of find out what his plans were. Maybe we could take his lead, or maybe he would be the leader on this. When we didn't get any response from the governor, and it didn't seem like he had a kind of closed door policy like he always has, we decided that we need to do something on our own. And so we partnered with the Franklin County Sheriff, and we got some donations together. Matter of fact, we had those things brought to my house. And we have them dropped off that Saturday night. That Sunday morning, early before the sun came up, we were in our vehicles headed up to McDowell County, and we dropped those supplies off. And we thought we had a pretty big load of stuff, but as soon as we got there, that stuff was absorbed and gone and used. The need was immediate in those days, and those first days. And so we went from there, and we started to tour the entire western area. We went over to Old Fort and Swannanoa. We went to Buncombe County, and we saw the devastation there. And for the better part of the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, we have been in and out of western North Carolina, going to the places, seeing what they need. And I can tell you, it was a devastating event. We've up to date to this time, we've delivered over 5 million pounds of goods to those folks.
Wow.
Food, water, the essentials. We've driven it in convoys on trucks. We've flown it in on airplanes. We've helped deliver it by helicopter, civilian helicopter. The civilian movement up in western North Carolina has been tremendous. And I have to say this too: our government workers, our DOT, our state troopers, our National Guardsmen, all of those folks, the emergency management, those folks are working hard and doing a fantastic job. They're working hard on the ground with the civilians, with Samaritan Purse. Everywhere we go, we see this nice, smooth machine that's going on between civilian, military, and government, and it is a wonderful thing to see. The only failures I think that we really saw was the response of the governor. It was a very poor response from the governor. 179 National Guardsmen from the outset, where Georgia sent us 15 and Florida sent us 1,700. He wasn't even in state when the storm hit, and so we just can't say enough about the people of Western North Carolina and about our state workers who have performed so magnificently. But right now, what we're doing there with those folks, getting them ready for winter because it's coming quickly. And we got to make sure every single solitary person can get to the polls and vote.
Exactly. Exactly, and it's critical. And I know the list there. I see that y'all are looking for now: generators, propane bottles, propane tanks, empty gas tanks, propane grills, heaters, blankets, anything that's going to help them survive and possibly keep them warm and get a warm meal in them. Because on a cold day, there's nothing better than a good warm meal. And I'm sure they've eaten a lot of sandwiches and a lot of different cold meals since this all went down. You don't have power and you don't have all these amenities that we're so used to, that we're just so used to.
That's right. That's right. The whole goal here, moving forward, is to get those folks back to normal. Do not allow them to languish in partial normalness. Let them get comfortable in their uncomfortability, so to speak. We got to get them all the way back to normal, and we need to do it at a pretty good clip. And I believe that we can if we got the right leadership in place.
Well, and I think that's critical right now. It seemed like we're sitting there as a General Assembly, and really there were things monies that Roy Cooper could have pulled down, our governor could have pulled them down, got stuff going quicker, and it was just crickets. And,
yes.
I usually don't try to bring up the competition, but, I guess I'll just use my code name for him, and maybe nobody will figure out who I'm talking about. But Lion Josh Stein, didn't hear much out of him either. So just
absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's funny. He's supposed to be Mr. Top Cop, Mr. I care about North Carolina, but then you look around, all you do is you see him putting a case of water on the back of a truck, and that's it. No work coming out of this guy. And that's what people should expect when he's governor. When he's governor, he won't be working either. He'll be somewhere hiding in a basement or somewhere at a fundraiser like he was Sunday night. Sunday night, we were deep up in western North Carolina, getting out there to see what was going on and find out what the needs were. Sunday night, he was at a fundraiser over on the upper crust side of Greensboro, hobnobbing with some big shots, trying to get a few more $1 million in his campaign so he can spread some more misinformation and lies. And so he's given us a real good glimpse of what kind of governor he would be. A do-nothing governor, just like the guy that's in there now.
Well, Mark, and you get polls and you see stuff, and he's way ahead, and he's this. I don't believe him, but he's all this. But the man's sitting on millions and millions of dollars over there. If he's doing so well against you, that money, I've heard now he's giving it out to all the other Democrats to help them in there. Why not go ahead and give that out to the people of Western North Carolina? And help them, to me, that would speak volumes. But I don't see that. I don't see it happening. So evidently, he's not wanting to actually put any kind of personal sweat in the game.
Yeah, you can rest assured he's not going to do that. He's not going to take that money and actually help people to actually do anything. His whole goal is politics all the time, no matter what's going on. Just like the guy that's in there now. They are concerned with climbing the political ladder, making the right moves for their political careers. Yeah. They don't care about the people of Western North Carolina. They don't care about North Carolina, period. North Carolina is a means to an end of their political climb and their political ascension.
Well, that's right. It's a stepping stone. And I know you want to, we got about not quite a minute till we got to take a hard break, and then we'll bring you back. But I know Kevin White, the sheriff up there in Franklin County, he's been a good ally, friend, confidant in this, and has helped you a bunch. And so I know you want to do a shout out to him. We got about 30 seconds.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to be with him tomorrow, and I believe in Wake Forest. In Zebulon. We're going to be with him in Zebulon, and we're going to have a great event with him tomorrow evening. We're looking forward to folks coming on out and supporting us at that.
All right, sounds good. Hey, we got like 10 seconds. I'm going to mumble a little bit here till we go to hard break, but I know it's been a lot of work. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about immigration, crime, and public safety. So hang tight. We got Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson.
We'll be back with more of NC Representative Jeff McNeely and Taking Care of Iredell after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, more dry weather hanging around, nice weather hanging around.
Friday. This free outdoor concert series comes to a close with a Kids in America performance at 6 p.m. powered by Waves Entertainment. Grab your lawn chairs and your friends for the Live Under the Oak season finale Friday night at Brookdale Village. Sunday is the annual Boo Fest at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville. Put on your Halloween costume and enjoy the party with a live concert by Alice Cooper tribute band Love It to Death. Ghostface will be serving up cold brews, their delicious kitchen will be open with a full menu, and Beer Lab will have mixed drinks. Spend Sunday at Ghostface Brewing in Mooresville for the Boo Fest Halloween party. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World of Outlaws World Finals on the 6th of November through the 9th. Catch Dirt Racing's Top 3 Series for 4 days of action to decide their championships, featuring the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, and the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. Single day and 4-day ticket packages and camping information are all available at charlottemotorspeedway.com. Often imitated, never duplicated. The World of Outlaws World Finals invade the Charlotte Motor Speedway Dirt Track in November. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
The Renaissance Festival is back, Saturdays and Sundays, now through November 24th. Eat, drink, be merry at the Renaissance Festival. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com. Don't miss it!
For 42 years, Johnson's Parts and Supply has been your Auto Plus auto parts store. When you need auto parts, think Johnson's Parts and Supply. Your Auto Plus auto parts store, 1112 Shelton Avenue, Statesville.
Are you concerned about losing your house if you go into a nursing home? Contact Crosswhite Law to learn about protecting your home. Crosswhite Law is here to protect you. Call 704-873-7233. CrosswhiteLaw.com.
It's Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
All right, back here with Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson on the phone. Mark, are you still with me, sir?
I'm still here.
All right, good deal, good deal. Well, hey, let's take a little break, although it's extremely important what's happening in Western North Carolina. But let's take a little break, and let's talk a lot about some policy that differs between you and Josh Stein immensely. And it's on the stuff that really matters. It's on immigration, crime, and public safety, since he's claimed to be the North Carolina's top cop, and really didn't hear nothing out of him for I don't know how long till this last little bit, and then he's decided to make all these great statements and do these things, when he really needed to go ahead and move to a different office. But I mean, let's talk about the border. Let's talk about it, because Josh is right there with Biden and Harris. He's right there with them on this.
He absolutely is. And we travel across the state and we talk about our policies, and we talk about our campaign. We've been campaigning on the same thing. We talk about our economy and how the 5 pillars that is supported by public safety, public education, healthcare, infrastructure, and housing. You take that public safety piece out there and take a look at it, and you look at what Josh Stein has done with that since he's been the Attorney General. You look at where we are right now. It's abysmal. I mean, this guy sued the drug companies, but he doesn't go after the drug dealers.
No.
He's suing TikTok, but he's not going after the folks that are putting this fentanyl into our streets and poisoning our kids and killing our children, quite frankly. Rapes are up 61%, violent crimes through the roof, and he's a defund the police guy right down the line. He's right there with the rest of them, from Biden to Harris, the whole defund the police, wide open border crowd. Josh Stein is one of them. He tries to style himself as this pragmatic, a progressive, guy, but he's a hardcore leftist. And his policies are horrendous. His policies as Attorney General have been horrendous. As a matter of fact, he's been a do-nothing Attorney General because these fentanyl deaths, the rapes, the human trafficking, that's all on his watch as top cop, and he's done nothing to stop it.
Well, I love in his commercials, of course, his commercials are the biggest bunch of lies you'll ever see, whether for him or against you. I mean, it's just one lie after another, just like he did when he got caught lying against Jim O'Neill. His pattern ain't changed. You know, he's a pathological liar, and he always has been, and I think he always will be. But, you know, he claims that he was big on Biden's thing about fentanyl. Well, he didn't do anything. He just signed on to the policies that Biden and Harris put forth after they had already let God knows how many bazillion doses of fentanyl cross into our country. I mean, it's like close to 400 million doses last year were seized. How many did we not seize? I mean, it's enough to kill every man, woman, and child in the whole dadgum country. They seized that, and I'll guarantee you there's twice as much they didn't seize.
That's right. He should be proactive in this thing. He should be actively out partnering with sheriffs, partnering with police chiefs, partnering with the FBI, whoever else in the state that he can, to stop the flow of this stuff and stop these deaths. He should be holding press conferences on a periodic basis to tell the public where we are, how much of it we're stopping, where we're finding it, rooting these folks out, making these people afraid to do business in North Carolina. They're not afraid to do business in North Carolina because you've got a governor and, more importantly, an attorney general that cares more about what the media says and about what his far leftist friends say than he does the people of North Carolina. You know, I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. All those folks that we meet out there that have lost people to fentanyl, these young people that have been lost, the folks that have lost husbands and wives and family and friends, the blood of those people is directly on Josh Stein's hands because he is the guy that is supposed to be out there actively, proactively trying to stem the tide. And he just simply has not been doing it.
Well, you know, my sheriff, Darren Campbell, arrested 2 traffickers last year, and they had enough fentanyl on them. They had to kill 26 million people. I mean, that's like
wow.
That's like over twice the population just of our state alone. And I mean, it's coming through our state, through my county.
Sure.
So what they say they're doing at the border, that ain't enough because you're letting people over and they're bringing drugs with them. There is no border. There is nothing. There's an open gate down there, and every cow that wants to get out of the barn has moseyed on out or moseyed on in. We're not doing anything. It's sad.
That's right. That's right. Because the border is now wide open, guess what the border is? The border is your front door now.
Yeah.
The border is your front door because the folks at the federal government are not doing their job. And certainly the top cop of the state or so-called top cop of the state is not doing anything. So the border is now your front door because the folks at the top have failed in their leadership.
Well, and you know, and also they're brazen. They're coming after the law enforcement. These people are not afraid of them. I mean, they have no fear because you know they've basically been let in the country and let off the hook. They'll come in. We'll give you a court date 3 years from now. Find me, catch me if you can. And you know, we look at the dangers and the just in North Carolina where we lost 4 officers back this summer and early part of the summer, and then 4 wounded. I mean, just trying to serve a warrant and this whole problem of immigration. There's no fear or respect of the law under Josh Stein's leadership and at the Attorney General's office. There won't be any in the governor's office either.
That's exactly right. When criminals look and see elected officials at the highest level out marching with the Black Lives Matter, defund the police crowd, you can rest assured they're going to take that as their cue, that those folks are going to be soft on crime. And if they're going to be soft on crime, the criminals are going to go after it even harder. They're going to push even harder. They're going to push the envelope even further. They're going to continue to commit crimes even more. When they know there's no punishment and they know the cops don't have the backup from the top, those guys are going to be in full swing, and it's going to be open season on the citizens of this state.
Yeah, another distinction, we're top 10 in the country in human trafficking, and that's not one you want to be top 10 in. But, you know, other than what the legislature's done, and I've tried to do a lot in this area, falls on deaf ears at the Department of Justice, and Josh Stein's feet falls on deaf ears.
Absolutely. I mean, you just say it. The proof is in the policies. His policies are horrendous. His policies are non-existent, and because they are, these things continue to spiral out of control. You know, honestly, if I was him and I'm the Attorney General, I would be embarrassed by the numbers that are being presented here in North Carolina. Those numbers should be way down. He has the ability to be able to do it. He has the ability to be able to pass the policies. And here's the worst thing about it. We've got great law enforcement in this state. We've got great sheriffs. We've got great police chiefs. We've got great state troopers and a great FBI. It's just a matter of having a guy at the top that's willing to put them to work and let them be proactive and let them do their doggone job. If he would do that, we would see these numbers fall. He hasn't done it as Attorney General, and I guarantee you, he won't do it as governor either.
Well, I know he's going to cow down to do whatever they tell him, and that's exactly coming from the National Democratic Party. He's just going to play their game for them. That's all he'll do. And we got about 3.5 minutes, and I know we can't get into it much, and I really don't want to, because I think to me it's a non-factor in my opinion, because I don't believe it. But you got all the slanderous stuff that has come out from his campaign and from the Democrat Party, basically, I hate to use these words, but tar and feathering you. And that's what they want. And so, you know, I love to see just how low, I don't love, but just how low will they go? And they've gone pretty low. We got about 3 minutes, and I know we're not going to get into it, but I can tell you right now, the man I know that's Mark Robinson, that's my friend and lieutenant governor, that's not who they're describing, and that's not what's going on here. So
it's not, and they do this in an attempt to distract people from the real issues. And they don't want to talk about the real issues, those things that we just talked about: public safety, education, healthcare, infrastructure, housing, the policies. They don't want to talk about that, because on those things, they lose.
That's right.
They lose every time. And not only do they lose the argument, they lose by proof of their policies and the results that they've given. Prior to 2010, where were we at in this state? We were dead broke. Why? Horrendous policy passed by Democrats. That's why we were dead broke at the federal level. The border's wide open. Prices are out of control. Gas prices are high. Inflation's high. You know, why? Because of bad policy at the federal level. They don't want to talk about these things, again, because when they talk about them, it pulls the wool off of people's eyes, and people look and they see that their policies fail. Then they go to the poll and vote for people who pass policies that actually work, giving us great gas prices, securing our border, getting our finances in the state here in order. They're going to go to the polls and vote for that. So they want to stay as far away from policy as possible, but we're not going to let them, because we talk about it everywhere we go.
Mark, we got about 30, 40 seconds. Why vote for Mark Robinson instead of Josh Stein? And a quick thing, you've told a lot and you've said a lot. Lay it on me.
The bottom line is, if you want somebody who's going to give you great public safety, great public education, health care, infrastructure, and housing, vote for somebody who is working with the party that has done that in this state. The Republicans have delivered since 2014 and will continue to deliver if we have the governor's mansion. So vote for folks who are going to vote for great policy and pass great policies that will make us greater in the future.
All right, and if we find you, I know that if they want to send donations, your website, is it with Mark Robinson for Governor? What is your website?
It's markrobinson4nc.com. That's Mark Robinson, FORNC.com.
And it's not too late, folks, and keep donating, because this is not done. We got more time to early vote. It's getting wide open right now. We need you out there at the polls, and we need you voting. And like I said, this is not about who's the prettiest penny. This is about policy. Roy Cooper vetoed over 100 of my bills I put forth. Josh Stein will do the same. If you want to see North Carolina move forward, Mark Robinson. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
I appreciate you being on the show. Thank you so much. All right, folks, stay tuned for the second half of the show. We got a lot more to talk about. You can call in and tell me what you're thinking. Hang in there.
Keep it right here. Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, more dry weather hanging around, nice weather hanging around as we kick off a new work week. Plenty of sunshine as temperatures climb into the mid and upper 70s for a Monday afternoon. We'll cool back off under a clear sky into the upper 40s overnight, but we'll get a little warmer, a little closer to 80 through the middle of the week, and then cool it back down a tad as we get into the upcoming weekend. Still no rain really in the forecast for a while. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Hey, this is Jeff McNeely, owner of G&M Milling Company in beautiful downtown Lowray. We at G&M hope you come by and see us for all your livestock needs. We stock feeds for all kinds of animals and hay too. We also have seed for a wide variety of forages for your animals. So come on by 4000 Taylorsville Highway, Statesville, or call us at 704-873-5758. We're worth the drive. Thank you again for supporting small family-owned businesses. God bless.
For 42 years, Johnson's Parts and Supply has been your Auto Plus Auto Parts store. When you need auto parts, think Johnson's Parts and Supply. Your Auto Plus Auto Parts store, 1112 Shelton Avenue, Statesville.
Looking for a large private room for your next work function? Or maybe you need a place to bring the whole family for a delicious meal. Pomodoros of Mooresville has the perfect space for your crowd. Book your next event at pomodoros.com.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Temperatures are heating up, but the prices are cooling down at Randy Marion Ford Lincoln here in Statesville. How about this? Over $8,000 off F-150s. That's the XLT trim, that's the Lariat trim, that's the Platinum trim, that's the Limited trim. That is the Crew Cab, that is the Super Cab. You name it, Randy Marion Ford. We got it right here in Statesville at a big discount on F-150s. Again, over $8,000 off. Come see us today, I-77, exit 49B.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Long losing customers to cord cutting amid the rise of streaming. One of the biggest cable TV providers has been trying to make nice with streamers. And now in a move closely watched by other cable companies, Charter Communications plans to make a massive marketing push to tout it. In recent weeks, Charter, owner of Spectrum Cable, has made deals with the owners of Peacock, Max, and Discovery Plus to make those channels free to its customers. Disney Plus and Paramount Plus already are. It's looking more like the legal mess complicating the U.S. cannabis business soon may be untangled. Cannabis has been legalized in 24 U.S. states plus D.C., but it remains federally criminalized, meaning, among other barriers, pot businesses have to conduct transactions with suppliers and customers, mostly in cash. But analysts tell Dow Jones, for the first time, both major party presidential candidates are voicing support for easing the rules. Wall Street's indexes lower, Dow losing 0.33%, NASDAQ and S&P 500 each down 0.25%. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Now, more Taking Care of Iredell with North Carolina Representative Jeff McNeely on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, back here for the second part of the show. If anybody would like to call in and talk about anything at all, 844-788-3464, 844-788-3464. Well, I had a good time there talking with Mark Robinson, our lieutenant governor, running for governor on the Republican ticket. You know, it's kind of ironic. I talked to a lot of people on the left and on the right, and some have problems. They say, oh, well, these things that have been said, you know, I just can't, there's no way I can back somebody like that. And then I've heard the left come and say that, and, you know, they're going to take the moral high road. But, you know, I swear I do remember a bunch of them voting for Cal Cunningham. And when he was having his affair with his wife there when he was running against Tom Tillis. And I remember a bunch of them voting for John Edwards when he was having an affair on his wife and running against, you know, for the Senate way back when, and then got the lady pregnant and the whole mess there. And they voted for him then. And then there was Bill Clinton. And so, you know, he got in trouble, I guess, and Monica Lewinsky for the wrong things at the wrong time, but they voted for him. So I guess, you know, maybe they just pick and choose who they think are bad people. Huh, go figure. All right, I'll take a call. Look like we may have one or two. Who we got here? If I can get them to come in. We still got somebody? Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got on call?
Hey, Jeff, this is William. How you doing?
Hey, William. How you, brother?
Pretty good. I just wanted to take time to thank you. Boy, I tell you, it's like I told Vicki the other day. I was talking to her. It's been a long season. It seemed like it started in 2020, and it's been going on forever. But just wanted to thank you, Jason Sane, Vicki Sawyer. All you guys have been getting guest hosts on your shows and keeping us informed. And I just want to thank you for that, because it really does help out when you get those candidates on there and talk to them to help you choose and make the right choices. this season when we go to the voting booth.
This political, we say it every time, but I swear I mean it this time. This election is critical, the most critical I can remember.
Well, it's like I told Vicky Friday, Jeff. My mother is, she doesn't like Donald Trump. She thinks he's arrogant. And I understand that. I mean, sometimes a man don't know when to keep his mouth shut. I get it, but that's not what this is about. This voting, in my opinion, is about freedom. And if we don't get Donald Trump back in there, I think the Democrats were just going to try to get it to where we won't be voting again. I think they're trying to take away our freedoms on a lot of different scales and a lot of different areas, and that'd be one of them. I think they would just try to make this a one deal where they just vote for you, and swing states will become a thing of the past, and so forth and so on. I know that sounds doom and gloom, but I just really believe that's how serious it is.
Well,
and that's the reason why we got to get him back up there in that office. And she understands that. She knows that, she's not voting for a preacher. She's got to get a leader back there. And Kamala is not, she's not a leader.
Well, it's like I tell you, I'm not looking for a babysitter. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not interviewing a babysitter. I'm interviewing somebody that can go up against the most ruthless people in the world and make my country safe, and I can sleep at night. That's what I'm going up against. And right now, I don't have that. I don't have that feeling. Anything that happens on the international forefront, any attacks that happen to Americans at home or abroad, do not surprise me. I think if you leave this country, you're taking a good chance of putting your life in peril. And while you're here, you're not safe. But I definitely believe it. And so, like I said, I'm not looking for a babysitter. I'm not looking to try to do a pulpit committee if I'm a preacher. I'm looking for somebody that I think can make tough decisions, and people understand that they will make those tough decisions if they go against us. Right now, we don't have that. Nobody's afraid of us. Nobody cares less about what we do.
Well, another thing that Donald Trump, I think, is going to do, and I think that's one of the reasons why he picked J.D. Vance. And I think when he gets back up there to Washington, D.C., I think he's going to try to build a team because he knows he's stepping away in 28. And the team that he builds between 24 and 28 is going to be the ticket for us to get this thing straightened out and get it in the right direction and keep it in the right direction. Because I can't say it enough, Jeff. This election is about freedom. If you enjoy freedom and enjoy being an American here in America, then vote.
That's right.
Get out and vote.
Hey, I got about 3 or 4 holding. Everybody's got something to say today. I guess they missed me. All right, see you, brother.
See you later, Jeff.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
We'll go ahead and take the next one. That might have lost him. Held too long. Hey. Got it. All right. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got?
Hey, that's your neighbor out in West Ireland.
All right, brother. Good to hear from you.
All right. I was curious if you watched the hit piece that 60 Minutes did on Western North Carolina last night.
No, I've heard a little bit about it. I have not had a chance. I'll probably try to go back. I'm big and seems like going back and catching stuff on YouTube and whatnot. So I thought I'd try to go back and catch it and just see what all went on.
Well, it was propaganda piece if there was ever one done. I got to ask you, I mean, connected with the legislature and, the inside of Raleigh there, are you hearing any actual numbers, real numbers of losses up there?
Well, no, we're not. They're not giving it.
Nobody is. Nobody is.
I truly believe we're going to end up with a whole lot huger number than we are now, and I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong.
They're saying 200 and some people up there. I can tell you, I have a source from Mission Hospital in Black Mountain that told me 2 weeks ago they had 2 refrigerated trucks full of bodies out there.
I know.
They were calling another truck.
Well,
last week, I heard they had gone through 3,000 body bags.
Well, the county management, a bunch of those counties, that's one of the things they've actually asked for. I mean, they've come to the state, emergency management asked for body bags. I mean, we've been shipping them in. They come in lots of 50. And so everybody and their brother up there, we've sent some. So I don't know. It's and they're not wanting to put this out because then it looks like, I don't know why. It was bad, and I know it was bad. Let's just tell the truth. And no, we weren't really prepared. And I know a lot of people get punched in the mouth like we did are not prepared. But I don't think you should hide it from people. But, it's funny. There's an election right now. If this would have come November the 6th, we might be getting a whole lot different factual information.
Well, I've heard absolutely nothing out of Cooper other than his little speech the day after the storm or whatever it was.
Well,
just crickets from Raleigh on Cooper. I mean, he's useless.
He could have. I think he could have spent up to $50 or $75 million immediately. He had that ability with the emergency declaration to start getting things moving quicker, and nothing. We came in. Our biggest part that we did really was to start the federal. You have to do a 10% 90 match with them, us 10, them 90, to get FEMA money released, and that was really what we did. We just went in and did that to get the ball rolling. That was our part, but it's up to the government. Emergency management's underneath him. DOT's underneath him. Health and Human Services underneath his watch. All those things, what? I'm sad.
Well, sorry. This is the. I've got a lot of history information. I've got several books on the 1916 flood, and I was looking back at some of this. French Broad River through Asheville crest a foot higher than the floods of 1916.
Yeah, I'd actually heard like 3 feet higher.
Yeah, well, two hurricanes converged at that time, and it rained for 10 days up there. This was a 2-day, 3-day rain event. It was already flooding on Thursday.
Yeah, well, they had a storm come in, dropped about 6 inches on them that come from the, pushed down from the Midwest. And then this came.
Well, this whole thing was just, and everybody I've talked to that does disaster response has said this whole thing is just weird. It's something not right about it. I know the storm that we had here on Wednesday and Wednesday night, worst electrical storm that I can remember in years and years and years. I mean, it was terrible. And then rained all day Thursday, and the storm came through Friday. But I think they're underreporting a lot of this stuff. I think it's intentional. Some of it may be through NOAA. I don't know what's going on with it, but somebody needs to look into it. I can tell you personally, I've got a rain gauge, but it long overflowed. I had a 30-gallon trash can that I didn't have a lid for when I fed the animals. I emptied it out on Wednesday night. When I came back on Thursday to feed the animals, I had 10 to 12 inches of water in that barrel. After the storm on Friday afternoon when I fed the animals, that 30-gallon trash can was overrunning. Now, you tell me, and I'm in West Ireland. Now, you tell me, yeah, we got 6 or 7 inches according to the Weather Service. Not a chance.
Yeah, I know. That old guy told one of my boys that went up there, one of my son's friends that went up there and dropped off up above in Allegheny, Spruce Pine up in that way, that he dumped out his 10-inch rain gauge 5 times. I don't know. He could have said 6. I'd have believed him. He could have said 4, but he said 5, and I ain't doubting him. So it was tough.
Well, I'm not big into conspiracies, but Jeff, there's something going on with this.
Well, I know, and we're going to keep digging.
Storm and, well, the legislature needs to look into this thing, and I think there's a fellow named Dean Wigington that has been involved with some of your legislator folks looking at the geoengineering.
Yep. Oh, I know.
You need to look into this mess. It's not a conspiracy. They've been using geoengineering since Vietnam.
Yep. Let me take a hard break here. I got to get off. But we'll be back. But I got you.
Thank you, Jeff.
We're going to look at it. See you, brother. All right, hang tight for the last part of the show, folks. It's going to be good.
Keep it right here. Taking Care of Iredell with NC Representative Jeff McNeely will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Jeff McNeely, who we got? We're not on the air, but I'm just finding out. All right, Jesse, I'm coming to you. Just bear with me after the break, brother. All right.
I was hoping to get me on.
We're gonna get you. All right, let me see right behind you. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got? Hello. Still with me? I know we've been on there a while. Hello. I don't think we got anybody on that one. All right. We got somebody on 6. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. Who we got on 6? Hello. Something's not
Hello.
going. Hey, this is Representative Jeff McNeely. We're not back on the air yet. Who we got here?
Dale Bass.
Hey, Dale. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing okay.
Let me get Jesse here. I'll try to get him all quick as I can. I'll get back to you. Hold tight.
Well, you can just spread this information.
What you got?
From the front porch of my house up at Crumpler to my neighbor's house across the river, who had 4 foot of water in his house, is 550 feet wide. That's how wide the water was coming down through there.
560 feet wide, and it got
550.
550. And it got up.
It got 4 foot deep in that man's house.
God bless. How far above the river is he?
The elevation's several feet, Jeff. I don't know just how many. And see, our home is like 4 foot coming up on our porch. But we are way up above the river elevation. I'd probably say 20 feet.
Okay. All right, brother.
We've got debris and trees up there up 20 feet above the ground.
All right, let me get back on there then. All right, I appreciate you.
Right.
Thank you.
See you, bye.
All right, say bye.
Don't miss it!
For over 57 years, Nelson Royals has been serving the Lake Norman, Mooresville, Statesville, and surrounding counties. Nelson Royals has work in Western clothing and over 4,000 boots and shoes in stock. Brands like Ariat, Rocky, Justin, Durango, Tony Lama, Red Wing, Thorogood, Skechers, Hey Dude, and many more. Check them out at nelsonroyals.com.
Now back to more Taking Care of Iredell with your host, NC Representative Jeff McNeely on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, back here with the last part of the show. I got the sick and tired Patriot online. Let me see if I can bring him in. Jesse, are you there?
Hey, Jeff, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, it's going pretty good, brother. What you got going on this morning?
I'm glad to hear you have Mark Robinson on there. He by far is the only reason I'm going to vote.
I thought you said I was the only reason you was going to vote.
Well, now, hang on. Yeah, well, that too.
Don't forget me.
But
Don't forget me.
It's where his heart is with God is getting me up there tomorrow. I voted for Trump, and I just because of things that I know. I mean, there's just so much signaling going on. I hope his heart's right. He's gonna get my vote too again.
You ain't got much choice. You ain't got much choice. Got to.
I know. Well, I thought about penciling in Jesus Christ there instead of voting for either one of them. Be honest with you.
If he'll come on back, that'd be the best thing.
That's going to be the only person to fix this land, or the only thing to fix this land, I should say. I guess.
Yep.
But I'd like to touch in on that body count, and it's just awful. It's the things that allows these atrocities to go on is to my opinion, is our biggest problem is not being able to control the funding and stuff. As we the people we need to take control of our own time, basically, to and pay attention to what we're doing, because our time is our money. In this world, and I said something to Vicky last week. I hope you didn't take offense of, but money don't turn this world. It's God.
Oh yeah.
It's our time, and it's like we come together, come out here, and I've seen people criticize about that's the worst rescue mission ever seen, but I think it's probably the best one I've ever seen, because the people has come together to pull this off and has done an amazing job. I know that there's fingers need to be pointed where they need to be pointed, because they didn't stand up and do their job when needed the most, But the people come together and did some awesome things there that I think if we look at that and say this is the best way we need to do things, is allow the people to run it. Having Congress just to be able to have unfeathered powers of money and pay people to do what they want them to do just by pushing buttons on a computer, that's got to come to a stop, man. And with this I guess you call it legal tender that we're under today. There's no way to pull the reins back on it. And you know, I've even looked at who owns this monetary system. Try to find that, and you know, the only thing you can find is some offshore entity, and that don't make you scratch your head. You know, I don't know what would.
Well,
but there's a lot of truth, man, and a lot of secret society going on here that should have been hung a long time ago. And they tried to, but they didn't get them all. Now this is where we come back to again in history. I want to say, but Jeff, you do got my vote, that's for sure, and a lot of the people that you have on there, but they all need to get their heart right. And it's God that turns this world. It ain't money, and you need to do what's right and what's wrong. Steer clear from what's wrong, because in the end, it's the 10 Commandments that is the law.
That's
okay?
right.
All right, bud. You have a good one.
All right. Get out there and vote, Jesse. Get out there and
Yes,
vote.
sir.
Hopefully that's what's going to make the difference. All right, brother.
Yeah.
See
That's
ya.
all we got left to do.
That's it. That's it. And pray.
Besides pray.
That's right. All right. See
Amen,
you.
brother.
Amen. All right. I want to read something, so I'm not going to take any calls, but I want y'all just to hear this because I think you need to. A recent report from the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General has raised concerns about the potential security risks associated with the release of undocumented non-citizens into the United States and their ability to board domestic flights. The report highlights several issues with current processes and procedures. Under current processes, the CBP, Customs and Border Protection, ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement cannot ensure that they are keeping high-risk non-citizens without identification from entering the country. Additionally, Transportation Security Administration, TSA, cannot assure its vetting and screening procedures prevent high-risk non-citizens who may pose a threat to the flying public from boarding domestic flights. Now, this is the Inspector General of the Homeland Security Department. The report points out that while federal law stipulates that non-citizens without IDs are not admissible into the country and shall be detained, both Customs, Border Protection, and Immigration Customs Enforcement are permitted to release non-citizens into the U.S. under various circumstances. And the practice involves accepting self-reported biographical information, which is then used to issue immigration forms that allow for boarding of domestic flights even without proper identification. Are y'all getting what I'm putting down? A significant concern highlighted in the report is the lack of comprehensive data on the number of non-citizens released into the country without identification. The Inspector General requested data for fiscal years 21 through 23, but neither the CBP or ICE could provide accurate figures. TSA, and this is to Homeland Security. This is one government group, can't provide accurate figures to another one. TSA relies on background checks and data from CBP and ICE to assess potential threats. However, the report suggests that if this data is incomplete, TSA's methods to screen individuals who pose a threat would not necessarily prevent these individuals from boarding flights. Remember this when you got to take your shoes and your belt off. The Inspector General's report also mentions similar weaknesses in the screening process that have allowed high-risk individuals into the country, including an incident in 22 when someone on the FBI's terror watch list was released. In conclusion, the report warned if CBP and ICE continue to allow non-citizens whose identified immigration officers cannot confirm to enter the country, they may inadvertently increase national security risk. No crap. The Department of Homeland Security did not concur with the Inspector General's findings. So now we have the Inspector General and Homeland Security at odds because it doesn't sound good. But facts are facts. And it drops down in there. It said TSA also responded to the report stating it doesn't reflect the current policies. However, the Inspector General maintained the recommendation is open and unresolved until TSA provides evidence that the additional screening of non-citizens without IDs is sufficient to reduce the security risk these individuals pose to an acceptable level. Earlier this year, North State Journal reported on an American Airlines flight filled with migrants headed from Phoenix to Charlotte. The report was based on images of the migrants sent to the North State Journal by a North Carolina citizen who was on the flight. According to TSA, passengers on commercial airline flights are required to show official government-approved identification and a boarding pass. It remains unclear if the migrants on the Phoenix to Charlotte flight had proper credentials, or if they were sent through modified screening process as reported by the right-leaning news Breitbart. It talked about they actually went and asked Charlotte Douglas International Airport and the Charlotte leaders, including the city manager and Mayor Vi Lyles, about the flight. A spokesperson for the city responded by saying in an email, "The city is aware of this, but we cannot confirm the number of flights. We do not track this data." Also, the person said that we should contact the Camino Center and the Latin American Coalition, citing them as non-governmental organizations assisting migrants. A commercial airline provided confirming information to them that the tickets for the migrant flights was arranged and paid for by the non-governmental organizations. Many NGOs are receiving millions in taxpayer fund grants through various programs administered by the Federal Department of Health and Human Services. The grants can pay for a variety of things, including clothes, cell phones, food, shelter, transportation, and legal services that specifically serve migrants. Some of the largest entities involved in migrant travel and facilitate are the American Red Cross, Church World Services, and Catholic Charities USA. The American Red Cross received $350 million from DHS and from FEMA food and shelter programs in February of 2023. Church World Services reported in 2022 tax filings that they had received over $115 million from the government support. Catholic Charities USA posted $1.4 billion in government grants in its 22 filings. Folks, if you were on the fence and if you weren't sure what administration you want, the current one that serves us now in Washington, the Biden-Harris administration, who she said she would not do anything different than they've already done just the other day in her interview, or the Trump-Vance administration, who has already talked about deporting these people that have came here illegally. And everybody's going to say, oh, this is harsh. This is horrible. Well, then I pray that they don't get on a plane and they crash it somehow or another into a building and kill your family one way or another. I pray they don't do anything. Dear Lord, bless us, watch over us, help us. Amen.
Taking care of Iredell on News Talk WSIC.
Serving you better than ever before.